Peace, Oakland. Today was a monumental day in Oakland's history. Not only did we learn just a few days ago that recall and currently indicted Xing Tao, former mayor, was a racist, but now we know that her staffers, Leah Hanson and Brandon Harami, aided and abetted her very sick quest for fame and fortune. So I got a few things to say. For some reason, they're trying to put my name in the news, and they're trying to make up this lie that somehow they were talking about me, Seneca Scott, being someone's token. Let me explain it to you really quick. First of all, for any person in the news who calls themselves a writer, and you don't understand what the first person use is, that memo was very clear. Pull it out right now. Pull it out and bring it up. I'll wait. Now that you have it up, notice in the upper right-hand corner, it says use BP as token underneath Carol Fife's name. Seneca Scott's name wasn't on that document. Many names were mentioned on that document, but not mine. Also, if you were talking about someone else, using would be the right word. So using people. Use means you, first person. So whoever was writing those notes meant that they intended to use Black people as puppets. And who did they use as their potential puppeteer? Carol Fife. They all work in this building. So I'm gonna say one last thing. We all know this was a deplorably racist event, calling Black people tokens in Oakland City Hall, probably on city time. I'm sorry, I'm gonna say more than one more thing, you know me. There were a few other things that were incriminating on that memo. First is the obvious use of city time and resources, 110%, Monday through Friday specifically. Look at the memo again, 110%. It also mentioned the use of several big news cycles. Chief Armstrong, every news cycle that they can get on the news, 5 times a week, they said, press conferences. Remember when we said that Xing Tao was going from press conference to press conference and illegally using her position as the mayor to defeat the recall, at the same time undermining us by weaponizing the Public Ethics Commission and all these other people who she had under her thumb in City Hall for this corruption. So here we are, representing the people of Oakland. That's who I speak for. If I speak for anyone, it's the people of Oakland. It's the people and my neighbors of the lower bottoms and your neighbors. And I'm fighting for you against this corruption. I've never been elected. I've never had a budget passed. I've never passed a law. I've had zero to do with the failures of this administration. And yet they continuously want to scapegoat who? Me. Why? Ask yourself. If the people are being failed by the government, if the people are being failed by the government, and a person who is demanding accountability and responsibility for proper government is being attacked, who's the person who's the bad person? Malcolm X spoke on it. Come on, guys. You can't be this dumb. And most of you are not. But for those of you who are, or who are useful idiots, or you yourselves are being used as tokens, who yourselves are being used as tokens, Carol Fife, Earl Harper, Shaney Turner, Walter Riley, all of these tokens who stood with Xing Tao, who never ever denounced her. Not a single elected official has denounced the use of token and use of Black people in Oakland on that memo. Not a single person has denounced them. Why? Why not? Not a single elected official has denounced them. This should be national news. Maybe because it's not national news yet, they don't feel the need to make a statement. Let's get this national. Let's make sure that every news station covers this, so then they'll finally make a statement, and with the timing of that, you'll know why. And let's see if they can do it without saying my name, Seneca Scott. Challenge? Game on? Peace, Oakland. I love you. Got to go to the studio, make the rest of this episode so I can share a few documents with you, go over the events of today. I will say one council member, I didn't skip, acting mayor Kevin Jenkins. Thank you, Black man. Thank you for doing the right thing and standing up for the people of Oakland. And we know it wasn't easy, and we know a lot of people are in your ear and attacking you, but you did the right thing and you stood tall. And the other 7 people in city council right now, Noel Gallo, Carol Fife, Rowena Brown, Zach Unger, who else you got? Ken Houston, where you at, Ken? You're not gonna speak about this, man? You gotta say something. Who else you got? Acton Kaplan, I may have missed one, but if whoever I missed, you ain't said anything either. Your silence means you are complicit with this behavior. Your silence means you are the token. One love. I'm here with Ken Houston, son of Oakland. Can you hear me, brother?
I can. I'm out on the ground. Can you hear me?
We are. We're going to make it quick because I know you out there doing valuable work as always. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
So I wanted to bring you in and talk about this right here. I know you can't see it, but I want people to see it. Everybody's familiar with this document, calling people tokens, and I need to hear from an elected official that y'all care about us. Nobody's made a statement yet. So I want to give you the floor to make a statement about what do you think about what's going on with this whole situation.
It's nothing to think about. People should not feel comfortable even writing those type of words down, Seneca. I mean, it's been so normalized. We've been so left out for so long, so many years. It's become normalized to think certain ways, to say certain things. Lee Hanson, I've never had an issue with her. You know, in closed session, I never seen any sign. I never seen anything, that type of behavior from her physical appearance. But when you see something written down like that, it's like, where did that come from? Who felt comfortable saying that? You know, I mean, people want to act black, people want to dress black, people want to talk black, but then when it comes down to it, what is it? I mean, you can say or write down. I wouldn't even feel good writing that down, right? Knowing how blacks have been left out for years and years and years and years. It's hurtful. It's hurtful from a person that my mother's black. I don't know who my father is, Seneca, but I was raised by a black woman. That hurts me just to read that. It crushes me.
Yeah, likewise. I'll ask you this. One more question.
Yes,
Two more
sir.
questions. One is everybody in every news station, Brandon Harami and Leah Hanson have both said we were talking about Seneca Scott. He's the token. What do you think about that?
You should. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Just listen to this. Just look at both sides of that coin. What and how could those words roll out your mouth for any reason? Okay, so what if I'm talking about Seneca Scott? I can say whatever I want to say about Seneca Scott, but when you make a remark like that, that's almost like using the N word, in my opinion. Using that word, it's no different. It's no different, right?
Oh no, they
So
basically were saying Seneca Scott is a nigga.
same thing.
Yeah, he's a house
Same thing.
nigga.
Same thing. Same
Yeah,
thing.
same thing.
Same.
Yeah.
Nobody should feel comfortable just writing it down. I mean, feel comfortable. Okay, sit in front of me and write that down. That BMs are tokens. Our Seneca stock is a BM token. That doesn't even make. It doesn't matter who they were talking about. It should not even be. You should feel unease to even write it down.
I think that is the most important point. I will say a lot of names were mentioned in that document, but not many wasn't mentioned once. Also, if you're saying using, that would have said using. It said use BP. That's the first person. Okay? We're not stupid. Right? But either way, it doesn't really matter. Even if they wrote it in shorthand and they were talking about me and including me, I agree with you. It's incredibly racist. And the fact that people aren't even saying that in the media shows you that the media is racist. You know, there's an
Are
old.
comfortable. Are comfortable. You should not even be comfortable to say those words.
You shouldn't. You should not. Well, you know what? I know you're busy, man. So far, you are the only elected official that I know besides the interim mayor, Kevin Jenkins, who has bravely and courageously did the right thing and terminated every single person who was connected to the former mayor. We still don't know who was in that room, and the media doesn't seem to be interested in who was in that room. There could be people who were in that room who are still working for the city of Oakland today who
Oh,
were
that's
not
deep.
terminated.
That's a deep one
There could
right
be
there.
elected officials in that room who aren't coming forth.
So let me share this with you before I go, Seneca. I appreciate you pulling me on. I want to give you and let you know that I support Kevin Jenkins 100% on his decision. The young man has made incredible decisions so far, and it was a difficult decision being his position, right? Being an interim, uh, but he made it look easy because he did the right thing. So I support him 100%.
You know what? I have to say, I've never he is the elected official and a black man, and I always support my people unless they give me a clear reason. Otherwise, that's not personal, that I think is actually hurting the community. But
Yeah.
I never thought I'll say this, but I would have been perfectly okay with keeping interim Mayor Kevin Jenkins to the 2026 election. We could have
Hey,
kept
wait,
Mayor Jenkins
hold
in
on,
there.
Seneca, hold on, man. Hey, you know what? Hey, we on the same page because I was like,
I'm
man,
just
can we?
saying, bro.
I was
Like,
saying,
come
can we
on.
put it off? Can we put the election off and keep them
Can
in
we put
place? I'm not playing. Yeah, so we on the same page, man.
I see you, brother. Look, I think that people need to have healthier relationships. One thing that I'm not, I know you're stumping for Barbara Lee. I'm stumping against her. I don't think it matters. I do think that if she wins, it's good that she had you on council. And I also say this: if she does want to bring people together in Oakland, she's going to need the son of Oakland, who everybody loves and respects for being out here in the streets doing the work. And I think
Thank you,
that you're a
Seneca.
very important person to have on council to help bridge these gaps with people, right? Because I think it's a combination of everybody like you, but they also don't want no smoke. So,
Right, 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 right. But let me say this to you. Like I said, I wasn't bought. I wasn't sold. I'm for the people, and that's who I'm gonna fight for. And I'm gonna do this every time. I'm gonna say this to you, Seneca. When I get up on that podium, if our black community that's been left out for years and years not included, they got a problem with me.
and me, brother. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll
all
see
right.
you
Peace,
later.
peace. All right,
Yes,
thank you,
sir.
boss. All right, later.
Thank you. All right, that was Ken Houston, son of Oakland. Um, so far, he's the only one who's spoken out, and so I think that is important. Um, we're gonna keep it rolling. Use black people as tokens. Had progressive racism been normalized in City Hall? You just heard from council member from District 7, Ken Houston. District 7 is the most working class district in the city of Oakland. It is also the most underserved and underrepresented because only 27%, I'm sorry, only 24% of District 7 voted in the 2024 election cycle, although 77% of District 4 voted to recall um, the corruption tile. And so, I think that it has been normalized. And if you're not sure what progressive racism is, let me share with an oldie but a goodie with you. So Malcolm X said the media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilty and make the guilty innocent. And that's power because they control the minds of the masses. But remember, things have changed with these new black mirrors we have that allow us to broadcast the news from our couches in our living rooms and from our makeshift studios like the one I'm in right now. And we are the news now. And people no longer trust the traditional media. And so they're seeking the opinions of their new trusted advisors or their peers and people who have integrity and credibility, who are willing to put forth their information and defend their positions with facts and logic. Sounds like classic liberalism, right? Um, then they will be at benefit. Next, the crumb bum media is going to make me the mayor. I mean, we just talked about this with Ken Houston, but it looks like the media is obsessed with Seneca Scott. I'm going to bring up NBC. And actually, let's bring up the Oakland side first. I'm going to go through a series of articles here and just to give you a sense of what I'm talking about. Okay, first is Soggy Side. And here, Oakland Mayor Chief of Staff fired after handwritten note is revealed in public record. They never put what it says. And then when they first broke the story, they didn't even put anything about black people as tokens. They just glossed over that. Leah Hanson, former mayor chief of staff, was terminated over the weekend by interim mayor Kevin Jenkins. Hanson says her files are being taken out of context. And you just heard from several black people all day about this, and we're going to play an interview next from Zinni. We're also going to review the NAACP press release and a few other, and you just saw the interview with Brother Houston. Somehow they're still giving this lady a pass for this. And then their go-to is that she says it was taken out of context and there was specific reference to Seneca Scott, a paid African-American political operative who was hired by wealthy white funders of the recall campaign to obscure the public's understanding of the recall's political origin. That statement has been on NBC, ABC. I'm not going to pull them up. Every single major news cycle has run that quote from them, but none of them, and Oakland side, they don't have to call me for a quote because I'm never going to talk to them. But ABC didn't call me for a quote. KTVU didn't call me for a quote. NBC did not call me for a quote. But they ran these extremely libelous statements. I'm sorry, paid? I'm an activist. I fight for Oakland. However, Quinn Delaney and Wayne Jordan are rich white people who live in Piedmont, and they have given hundreds of thousands of dollars to their tokens. Yes, they do have tokens and puppets. I have my puppets right here. Why do you think I made these puppets? Why do you think I made them? See this guy? This puppet right here? This puppet right here, he's got millions of dollars, right? This guy who they use to attack people in the street with a little fanny pack, a little fake ass tough guy. Yeah, fuck him. This puppet, the puppet right here, Carol Fife. Why was used BP as puppets right underneath Carol Fife's name? It was under Carol Fife's name. And then they want to assign it to Seneca Scott to detract from her. Carol Fife, she's the puppet, she's the token to my Carol Fife's puppet and turn my power off. But anyway, the media's going to make me the mayor. Why do I say that? Because they talk about me nonstop, and name recognition is one of the most important things in politics. And people are not fooled. Now, I know that Malcolm X was very clear to rightfully say that the media does control the hearts and minds of the people. That's why we're in the information wars, and I make this show. Hold on, I'll be right back. And so that's why we make this show, Gotham, Oakland. What do we have next? I want to share the NAACP letter, and I also want to share with you a Zenny 62 Media interview that I just watched. So let's take some time. Actually, the letter is in the interview.
We've done. I'm pleased and blessed to present Mr. Darren White, board member of the Oakland NAACP. Mr. White, welcome. How you doing?
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to be interviewed by you about this subject.
Absolutely. I got you guys' press release. Oakland NAACP demands immediate termination of Lee Hanson and Brandon Harami after released documents suggest that Tao's office sought to divide the Black community. Talk to me about that. Talk to us about what happened here.
Well, since that press release has happened, Interim Mayor Jenkins has fired both individuals, and I believe more releases are coming. And so for those who don't know, what happened was that during certain meetings, during the time of the recall, they were having discussions about how to, combat the recall. And one of her people were taking handwritten notes, and they made notes that they wanted to, reach out to certain BP and use them as tokens. And the BP was Black people, right? This is all written, literally, it's in black and white. Literally, you can read it yourself, right? That they were working out a master plan to use the African community.
Literally, it's in black and white. Somehow the media couldn't figure this out, that this is never acceptable to use this in any term and try to get political cover for people who are being fired for being bigoted racist. I guess I figured it out. The people covering for them are also white racists. So basically, progressives are the most insidious type of racism you can have. We'll get back to that, though.
African American community members as tokens. right? For their ill-gotten gains, right?
For the ill-gotten gains.
That was released due to the seizures of information of the former mayor's house and offices being raided. So it was released. We saw that. We were appalled. I had so many calls. My phone has been blowing up since the release of this information and the reports coming out. So we, the executive board, got together, and the Madam President and the attorneys and the people in our on our board, they crafted a statement. And then today at 11, we had a press conference at our office in down in Jack London.
And I have, for the purpose of this, I actually have the press release I can put here.
I'm just gonna
And
watch it to the end of the press release.
it's right here,
and read it,
folks.
and then we'll keep it moving.
And so what it reads, and I think I'm gonna scroll this down a little bit there, and I'll read for you what you can't easily read, but it reads like this. The Oakland branch of the NAACP will hold a press conference Monday, April 7th at 11 o'clock to demand the immediate termination of City of Oakland employees Brandon Harami and Lee Hanson for their alleged roles in former Mayor Shang Tao's administration, and specifically for allegedly participating in what has now been exposed as a deliberate campaign to target, as you said, and manipulate Black leaders and organizations, aka BP, aka Black people. The release of nearly 1,000 documents tied to the ongoing federal investigation into Tao appears to confirm what many in Oakland's Black community have long suspected. And folks, I remind everybody, even if you don't pay attention to my channel, that on the 22nd of September of 2022, I released a video that said that Shang Tao was a monster. That was before the November election.
He was right, though.
And I said that she was like Tracy Flick, and that.
So look, I'm going to stop it there because I've been posting this to my X channel all day, and then I will link the press release again to people can take a look at it. But I just want to bring up the image again one last time before I get into my closing statements. Okay, those are the actual people that they start to use as tokens. Just a reminder. Let's look at this document and let's look at it close. Left to right. Recall, opponent, Foundation Oakland Unite, Conway, Dreyfus, Measure Z, Signal Thread. Where's Seneca? I don't see any Seneca there. I see Dreyfus. I see Conway. Our money, unions, carpenters. Carpenters were not there. Trades, firefighters, CNA, SCIU. Yep, Labor Council. So they knew that they could count on the unions to fight against the interests of Oakland. Remember, 60% of Oakland voters voted for the recall, and over 70% of Oakland's Black community voted for the recall. Akananda, Quinn, 501c4, white lady, rich lady from Piedmont. Her name's on there. State tech restrictions, charter amendments, and change recall rules for non-resident funders. At the same time that they say our money includes a non-resident funder, they want to change the recall rules for us, so we can't use non-resident funders. These people are a whack job. Campaign, your people. Now, let's do the important part. CM5 can outreach to NAACP, use BP as token, and they even put 2 lines. If you were talking about us with using people as tokens, it would appear on the other side of the page, and it would have said using Black people as tokens, as I've said many times. Anyone who's a reporter who doesn't catch that, you don't even have a basic command of the English language, which is probably why you suck at your job so much. Anyway, Black supporter, CM5, mentioned again, twice. Carol Fife's name is mentioned twice in this document. Senator Scott's name is not mentioned once. Here's another part that's important. Comms, chief of police announcement, budget comms, series of press conferences. This is bad for Oakland. Once a week. Presence, mayor's schedule, plus TV. Weekends off because they're lazy. And 110% Monday through Fridays and 5 public events a week. This is clear intention on using the office of the city of mayor to campaign against her recall. That's illegal, in case you didn't know that. So I'm going to wrap it up with this closing statement. Progressives, you need a gut check. All of you who were supporting Tsingtao to the bitter end, even after she was raided and indicted, even now, still today, making excuses for her. Yes, there are still people out there like Kathy Leonard, disbarred lawyer Kathy Leonard, who was disbarred for stealing money from her clients. Kathy Leonard is still supporting Tsingtao today. Brandon Harami is supporting Tsingtao today. Leah Hanson supporting Tsingtao today. Why is that? Why are these people still supporting this corrupt mayor? No one has denounced Tsingtao yet. These progressives have been telling people to denounce Senator Scott left and right to detract from their failures, but not one of them has denounced Tsingtao, and not one of them has denounced the statement or Leah Hanson or Brandon Harami. They need a gut check. How can we trust you if your discernment is so bad that you couldn't tell that Tsingtao was corrupt, that she was corrupt and dishonest? Those were the two words that we used for the recall. I'm sorry, we used incompetent and dishonest, and then later we found out definitively that was corrupt, but we knew that. But you didn't know that? But Zinni knew. He said she's a monster. Zinni said she's a monster. He even gave you the time and date that I forgot. Leadership requires discernment and judge of character, because delegation is one of the most important parts of leadership. And if you don't have discernment, and you can't tell who's a bad person or a good person, or if you're ignoring racism that's become normalized because the only people you keep around you that are black are people that you know you own as your puppets, think long and hard about what you really stand for. And maybe, just maybe, you will decide right now in this moment to become a better person. I'm rooting for you. I really am. That being said, peace. This is Gotham, Oakland, your host, Senator Scott. Like, comment, subscribe, get in the chat, share this with your friends. We need independent media because obviously, our current media is corrupt crumb bombs who serve as public relations for our failing, fake progressive administration. Thank you, and I love you. I said I love you twice because I really, really love you. Even my enemies, I love you too. Peace.
Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here.